Reese McKee almost got it done for your boy in that third round against Ange Loosa, but I personally thought he was going to take over in that second round and then eventually find the finish in the third round. Unfortunately for him, Ange Loosa let go on a barrage of punches in that second round that hurt McKee very badly and impacted him for the rest of the fight. And unfortunately for us, we are forced to rip up our Reese McKee tickets. I felt pretty good about that spot. I know I'm going to get torn to shreds post-fight about it now, considering how it went, but I really don't think that Ange Loosa is as good as the commentators were making him sound. And I feel like a better, somebody with slightly better takedown defense and just as good cardio as McKee will be able to expose Loosa and eventually finish him in the third round and stop this imaginary hype train that the commentators are trying to say that Ange Loosa is currently creating. But that drops our dog of the night record to 40-59. We are minus 0.07 units, so just in the black, minus 1% ROI. We hit one on the Contender Series, if I'm not mistaken, which is where we managed to get one, but we did drop it on the LFA and the UFC. Like I said, 40-59 now is the record for the year on the Dog of the Night predictions. All right, like I said, I got a ton of content coming for you guys today. Keep a lookout. I'll be dropping my quick picks for UFC 293, a new segment where I do 8 to 10 minutes getting right to the point of every single matchup and why I'm on that specific fighter. So make sure you guys look out for that. And then later on, I'll be dropping the Locky two-step / the Locky Trinity free parlay for you guys. So keep your eyes out for that. UFC 293 pay-per-view week. You know, it's a big week. We usually drop a lot of great content, and it usually gets a lot of traction. So it is my week to show out for you guys and hopefully hit most of these plays that I'm dropping for you guys. All right, let's get right into the top 3 dog of the night plays or predictions that I have for you guys. Again, if you want to figure out which one I actually ended up going with, my official dog of the night prediction, you can find that on the Lock of the Night Patreon page, which is in the description below. Make sure you check it out. Appreciate all the support. Appreciate all the love. Let's get right into it. First candidate up that we got for you guys is a violence bet. The under 1.5 in the Shane Young and Gabriel Miranda fight, that's currently sitting at plus 165. To put into perspective, the fight doesn't go to decision, currently sits at minus 175. So the fight is favored to finish, but it's not favored to finish under 1.5 rounds. But I think we should be able to take advantage of that discrepancy, as I believe that Miranda is the perfect type of fighter that reminds me of a Terrence McKinney, a guy that goes balls to the wall for the first round, and if things don't go his way, he ends up getting finished late first round or early second round. That's what happened in his UFC debut, and that's what I expect to happen here against Shane Young. If Miranda's not able to snatch up a submission, which he's absolutely possible and very live to do here against Shane Young, he'll have a crazy grappling advantage over him, but he'll be at a significant disadvantage in terms of the striking realm. And if Young can keep this fight upright, make Miranda work, and then find that button in the early second round, we should be able to cash this plus 165 on the under 1.5. So that's your first dog of the night candidate for UFC 293. Second dog of the night candidate is going to be John Makdessi at plus 220. Now, if you guys checked out the full breakdown that I did for the card, I went against John Makdessi in terms of a pick, but I did say that he's very live here to pull off the upset against Jamie Mullarkey. Jamie should not be a minus 280 favorite over anybody in this fight, and anytime. We saw him fumble the bag as a huge favorite against Mohamed Naimov earlier this year, and now he's going up against a tested veteran, John Makdessi, who's always a sneaky underdog. You saw him pull off the underdog victory over Ignacio Bahamundes 2 years ago, a fight where he was at a significant height and reach disadvantage, but still managed to make it work. He's coming off a loss to Nasrat Haqparast from September of last year, and now he's trying to bounce back here. The 38-year-old, he might be, losing a step in terms of being that old, but is a guy that's very tested, a ton of experience, has been in the UFC for 10 plus years. He's faced all types of different comers, and a guy in Jamie Mullarkey, he might be overall a better fighter at this point in time, but Makdessi is very tricky to deal with in the striking realm. From his changing stances of fighting, using his low kicks to set up his hands, it could catch Jamie Mullarkey off guard. And Mullarkey was a guy that just got put out, just less than 3 months ago, if I'm not mistaken. So Makdessi at plus 220. The prediction is Jamie Mullarkey, but if you want to talk about value and live underdogs, John Makdessi is one of those guys, especially at this plus 220 number, which is why he's my second dog of the night candidate for you guys. Third and final dog of the night candidate, he just turned to being an underdog. This was pretty much a pick 'em fight all week until I broke down this video. Anton Turkalj, plus 100. I think that's a damn good spot to go up against a guy in Tyson Pedro, who we know is not that great of a fighter. You know, we saw him go out there after his 3.5-year-long layoff, have 2 layups where he was able to finish both of his opponents, and then he fought a legitimate opponent in Modestas Bukauskas, and he ended up coming up short. That could potentially happen here once again with a guy like Tricoli, who is a grinder. You know, he didn't look the greatest in the Vitor Petrino fight, as Petrino was very powerful, very explosive, and very difficult to kind of hold down. Tyson Pedro has a crafty jiu-jitsu game, but I think he's a guy that can be held down, especially considering the type of grappling and wrestling that Tricoli has. If you guys remember Tricoli's Contender Series fight, he initially didn't get signed to the UFC, but eventually got brought on short notice to be a sacrificial lamb to Jailton Almeida. But the reason he wasn't signed was because he landed 11 or 12 takedowns that night and controlled the fight for just as many minutes, and the UFC was like, we're not looking for this type of fighter. But they still managed to bring him in. He's very difficult to deal with when he has a legitimate grappling advantage over his opponents, and I expect him to have just that here over Tyson Pedro. So it seems like a little bit of money coming in on Pedro here, but I'm going to go the opposite side. I'm going to go with Tricoli, and I think he pulls this off by decision, which is a great plus money spot as well if you want to target that decision prop or the overs, or the fight goes to decision as well. But I'm going to go Tricoli as my third dog of the night candidate for you guys. Again, if you want to find out which one I'm making my official dog of the night prediction, check the link in the description below for the MMA LOTN Patreon page, and that's where you'll be able to find all my early predictions, write-ups, and even my breakdowns for Cage Warriors, which goes down on Friday, which I don't really release to the public. It's strictly for the Patreon folks, so if you want to get a little early action in on Friday for Cage Warriors, you'll be able to find my predictions and plays on the Patreon, so check that out. All right, appreciate all the love, appreciate all the support, and I'll see you guys later today for even more content, next of which I believe is going to be the quick picks video, and then later on tonight the free parlay, the Locky Trinity, the Locky two-step. Got you guys covered. All right, appreciate all the love, appreciate all the support. Drop a like, drop a subscribe, drop a comment, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.